Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a back to school haul. It's kind of large and it has some typical back to school stuff and some non-typical back to school stuff. So if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, this has some like normal back to school stuff, at least that you probably think of when you think of back to school stuff, but then I also have stuff that's not so normal. I've mentioned before that we do My Tech High, which is a program in Utah. I believe it's in Oregon and another state. And so I got some supplies for that because we have funding from that charter school. And so I'm able to buy some different supplies. So I'll explain that a little bit more as we get into those supplies. But let's start with just more of the maybe typical or normal type of supplies you would think of, especially for homeschoolers. So I have this in front of me, hopefully. The table's all a mess. It's covered in all the homeschool stuff. So we have Ticonderoga pencils. Everybody talks about them. Everybody loves them. And these ones are already sharpened. So that's a bonus for us. But if they weren't sharpened, I did get another pencil sharpener here. So we have a pencil sharpener, but this, I just figured it's good to have another one. My kids usually end up breaking one by the end of the year anyways. And this one does have a variety of sizes. So sometimes I have bigger pencils for like little learners that need a little bigger pencil. And so they can rotate this to adjust, for those bigger sizes. And so I got a pencil sharpener even though we don't need it for these. So I got more pencils. We still have a fair amount of them, but we'll probably need them in the middle of the year. So I just got them now so that we could make sure we had them. And then some of these pens are more for me, for like planning out our homeschool and planning out my planner and all those things. So these ones, I can't even remember why I got these ones for sure. Like maybe someone had recommended them. I don't know for sure, guys. I don't know. But they're a very fine tip pen, which I love, okay? I don't like super fat pens. And so fine tip, these ones are 0.5. So I don't know if you can see that. They're pretty fine. And these ones are gel and then they're different colors according to, what's the color on the top. I've already used them a little bit in some of my homeschool planning and I like them, not as much as some of the other pens that I've tried. But as far as ones that have color to them, I have some black ones that I'm gonna share with you that I just love and a new black one that I really love. But it's hard for me to find ones that are different colors that I really enjoy. So these ones are pretty close. I like them pretty well. But as far as a black pen that is super fine that I love, it's these zebra pens. And it's all my son who studies Japanese. He's like, there's Japanese on this package. But these ones are my favorite. Let me see, it's all taped on the end. I have a whole bunch of them. So, oh, that was easier than I thought. But this is what they look like. I really like this clip too. It's not just a slide on one. You can push it and then put it on a paper. But these ones are really fine tip as well. And I have used these for, I don't know, it's probably been at least a couple years. It's a zebra type pen. That's what the brand is. And I've always liked zebra pens, but I don't like the super teeny ones. Right, they have the really skinny ones. I don't even know if those are as popular anymore, but they were like 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, because we use them a lot. And so I like these ones that they're a little bit chunkier, but still a super fine pen. These ones, I can't remember. Oh, these are 0.4. And then I found another one that it could be a new favorite or maybe a close second, but these Sharpie gel ones. So I got the ultra fine, which I think there's ones that are in color and that are black that are a bigger, what is it, 0.7 or 1, I think is fairly common, 1 millimeter. But since I like the finer ones, I was like, well, I know people love these Sharpie pens, but I don't want a bigger pen, whatever that pen head. I don't know, what do you even call it? So I looked for ultra fine and these are 0.38, so they're very fine and I have enjoyed them so far. As you can see, I took one out because I wanted to try it out on my planner and it has not disappointed me yet. And then something else I got was some watercolors. So we already have watercolors that kind of go in our art station, our art cart as we call it. But my oldest two will be doing the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts 4, 5, I think. 5, and it has a watercolor. The art that it focuses on is watercolor. It has a separate watercolor book for it. And so instead of fighting or being mad that certain colors are being used, I just got them each their own watercolor that they can keep in their drawers once they start doing that, so that it's like this is their thing. And then I also got a huge stack of these Amazon Basics, like the graphing paper, the grid paper, for my kids because I need them to show their work for math. And if I don't have paper or notebook for them to do it, they aren't super great. I at least can tell them, go get your notebook, let's write it out. And then it's a little easier for me to check their work because I know what they actually did. So I got a bunch of those. They'll probably last us a really long time. And then something else that I got was a bunch of books. This was, again, I only got all these because the My Tech High money will pay for it. But this is like, who is Anne Frank? What's the Declaration of Independence? We're not doing a full history curriculum this year, but we're gonna be using some of the history like mini lessons from the Waldock Way. She's here on YouTube, she has a blog, and I'll be talking about her more in the next few months as we use some of her curriculum. And so I got a bunch of these books. I picked a few units that I thought would be interesting or fun. Some of them are people, but some of them are the Titanic or the Twin Towers, things like that. So I have those books. And then we are also going to be doing a geography curriculum, like a US geography. So we will have our own US geography curriculum we're doing, but then we're adding in the Waldock Ways as kind of supplemental and just a little bit extra. There's coloring pages, there's a few facts, just a little bit more things. So I got this book for her curriculum because it's what she likes to use for it. And I think this book is beautiful. By the way, I didn't know this is what it looked like or that it was this big when I bought it, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited to use it. So I got that. Again, all of these things are using the My Tech High money, but these are a little bit more things that I would normally spend money on, and then I'll show you the stuff that I wouldn't if we didn't have money. And then this is a game that I found, just Mapology. Sorry, the glare from the window and the ring light is kind of fun. And so they can, I think, stick them, practice the capitals. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know exactly what it is, but there's that for them to practice the state capitals. And then I also got this one, the learning resources, which we have several learning resources things, but this one's magnetic, which I thought was really cool and fun. And so they show it, either on a whiteboard, you could do it on the refrigerator. I don't know how big it is because I even have like cookie sheets and stuff, so maybe they could do it on that. Just another way, again, to practice since we're talking about the United States this year, or even as we talked about them, you could put them up like on a board so that you could see them, so that could be fun too. And then the last thing I got for geography was the Draw Right Now. This one goes through some of the geography. It's the United States from sea to sea. So it has some of the different pictures. So you have something to write, but then you can practice drawing. So the Statue of Liberty, and then, the frontier. So there's different things here that they can practice, and we'll just integrate that in here and there. It's not something we do every day. And then I got these booklets that you don't have to use these booklets. You could use something else or just a notebook. But this is nice because it has this big page for them to draw the picture, and then down here where they can write. And so I got that for my 3 oldest kids, and my 6-year-old could draw stuff too if she wanted to, still working on the writing things. So those, I think, are all the normal curriculum stuff. So let me move everything around so I can reach all the other stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm ready. I have things all over. So I did forget a few things that are a little bit more are just normal homeschool stuff. So I looked ahead in our science curriculum. So our first quarter, we're gonna be doing geology from the Good and the Beautiful. And so there was some geodes that were needed. So I got this big kit. They had ones that had smaller amounts of geodes, but I have a lot of kids. So I got this bigger kit so we could do that. And then also some seashells. This actually isn't for geology. This is for marine biology. And so I was just kind of planning ahead to make sure we had them. So I don't know if it'll be our next unit after geology or not, but I got some of these. These are just all from Amazon, and these are starfish, and I think there's some sand dollars in here too. They're a little harder to see because they're all like bubble wrapped. So I got those as well, just so when we get to those units, we're all ready to go. And then the next section of stuff is going to be for our exploring technology class. So when you do My Tech High, there's an option for one of the classes that you're picking can be exploring technology or entrepreneurship. Last year we did their technology class, but we took classes through them. So one of my kids did animation class, one did with rockets, and another one did like the We Do Lego software where she builds stuff and program it to do something. And so that was all classes planned through them, and they tell us what to do from week to week. But they also have an option where you can just pick what you want to do and use the funds that they give you to buy stuff for that class. So we decided to do that. We're exploring technology this year. So I got a few different things because I have different kids that are interested in different things, and figured they could all just kind of share these things or work through them together. So first of all, this is not specifically a technology thing, but it can help us with technology or homeschool stuff. And before I forget, just to show it, I did get a new like cutting thing. What do you call this? Table? I don't know. I have a smaller one that I really like, but there's times when I wish I had a bigger one to cut bigger piece of paper, or if we're maybe doing something with scrapbooking, or I have a Cricut Joy I'm gonna show you, so we might use it to cut some of those things. And so I just wanted to have a bigger one just in case we needed it for some of the things that we're gonna be doing for this technology class. And that might not be reimbursed directly under the technology class, but they'll still reimburse for it. And so then I got this Cricut Joy. I used to have a big Cricut, and I didn't use it a ton. Like I went through spurts of using it, but it was also just so huge, to pull it out was quite a chore. And so I saw Angela Braniff actually using this smaller one. Like it's all packaged up still, but it looks like this smaller one. And I was like, that's genius. But I wasn't gonna pay for one at that time. But it works for this technology class because they can create things in a design space and then print it out. And so I have some just regular vinyl that I got, and it already comes in this size so that it can just fit right into the machine. And then the kit that I bought was one for iron-on stuff. So iron-on vinyl, that's really hard to say. And so this one came with a mini iron, basically, for the like Cricut designs. They have bigger ones, if you're doing bigger projects and stuff, but this one's the mini one. And that came with the bundle that I bought on Amazon. They had several different bundles. And the bundle also came with some of this iron-on vinyl already. So we got some of that. So I have a bunch of different vinyl options right here, along with some of the transfer paper that makes it a little easier to transfer. And then this one also came with the tools as well, because it was like one of the starter kits. So that will be for any of my kids that want to do it, but also I was thinking more for my daughter who's 10. That's kind of who I had in mind when I got it. And then I got a bunch of like more STEM related stuff, because that also falls under this category. So let me put this over here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I have some of these contraptions. This is from Kiva. Well, the brand is Kiva. And we have some of these already as well. But just on a given day, I could be like, this is what you're gonna be doing for your technology, and they can take it out, they can build something, I can take a picture of it, and things like that. And I also was thinking about stuff that my 6-year-old could do, okay, that would cater a little bit more to her. And then I got stuff also for my older kids. So I was trying to get things for a wide age range. And so I also got these magnetic sticks because for especially the younger kids, it's more just building stuff, like hands-on building stuff. And so that's why I got these, but my 11-year-old is dying to play with these. And so it's not just for the 6-year-old, but yeah, you can just build a whole bunch of stuff with this. Along with the building thing, let me pull this one out down here. So I got this like fort building kit right here for her as well, so that she can go downstairs in the basement and maybe build some things and practice some of those engineering type skills. So those things are more geared towards her, but then some of my older kids, I got some of this is the engineering maker space. So I just picked some that looked interesting, and we might, depending on how many funds we have left throughout the year, get a few more things as well. And also depending on what my kids like to do more, we'll see as they kind of try, they're exploring technology. So I wanted a variety of things that they could explore. So there's this one with a helicopter, and then I have this bigger one right here. I don't know if this has a variety. It looks like it has a variety of projects because there's a lot more pieces in there. And then, like I said, one of my oldest son did animation last year. And so, I'm gonna drop stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit more animation, and someone on the Facebook page for My Tech High had recommended these things for animation studio. So this one has like a little camera. You can do stop motion type stuff with it. And so I thought that could be fun for them, even an afternoon project, like go create a movie. And then this, you're like, what is that? I don't even know if I can get it open because it's all taped shut. I should have brought scissors over. But this is like a green screen type situation. So you can set it up, and it has little characters so you can move them around, and you can use this camera if you want to take pictures of it to create kind of your little movie. And then the last thing, I think it's the last thing, is 3D pens. So how old is he? 8-year-old had gotten a 3D pen for Christmas from his grandma, and he's really loved it. But this is all something they can build stuff, right? And see how things work, practice with the filament. We might get a 3D printer. We'll have to see, but it's one of those options I'm kind of throwing around for them to try out as well. But I think this is the same kind that my 8-year-old has, but I got 2 of them so that, there would not be too much fighting. And then this is the filament. Again, I got 2 of these, but the filament that goes in the pen, and there's different colors in there. And then we haven't had these before, but I thought they could be fun because you put them down basically, and you can trace over them, with the filament. It tells you how many you need to do, and then this is, what it should look like when you're done, when you put the design, or like this one is an Eiffel Tower, sorry, the glare is an Eiffel Tower, and there's other ones in there. So they're like templates to make 3D structures. And so I thought that could be a fun thing. We'll see whether or not it's actually fun or not, but that's what we got for our exploring technology class. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this slightly unconventional back to school haul. And if you have questions about My Tech High, I've considered making a video. I know people have had questions before, and I thought about it, but then I was just super pregnant and not wanting to do anything with it. So I think you'll still be able to enroll like for January for like half a semester or half a school year. Pretty soon. I don't know when the date closes for that enrollment. And so if you have questions, put them down in the comments below, and I can create a video and talk about some of the things. I might do it anyway, even if I don't get a lot of questions, and just some of the things that we've experienced with using it. This is only our 2nd year, so I don't have as much experience as some people, but it is nice to have some extra funds to pull from, especially we don't use it for any of our normal curriculum because it's Christian curriculum from the Good and the Beautiful, so we can't use the school, the state funding for that, but we can use it for a lot of other things. So again, if you have questions, put them down in the comments, and I'll make a video just all about My Tech High. And I think that's all. So if you enjoy these types of videos, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you've gotten for back to school, maybe things that are normal or a little bit different this year that you've had to buy, and I will see you next time.